Welcome back to consecutive day 1139 of a diary of a Runpreneur. And today I'm going to talk about the importance of process mapping when systemizing your business. So remember to give this a like, share, subscribe and comment, as the more people we get in front of, the more money we raise on my fundraising mission to save the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultramarathon. All the information about the challenge, how you can get involved, is in the link in the comments below. Thank you as always, and let's get started. So, consecutive day 1139 of a diary of a Runpreneur. And today's episode, I talk about the importance of process mapping when systemizing your business. So, reason for the topic is I'm currently going through probably an evolutionary, unending journey of continual improvement, if you like, within my businesses. Understanding that to reach my my kind of levels where I need to be in key areas, i.e. for me, to grow a scalable and successful, sustainable business, you need systems and processes, people and data. Equally as important are the three pillars which I base everything on in my business world and life in general. So systems and processes come from my operating system, which is I've now switched over from Asana into Airtable. My data comes from Airtable as well. So I'm basically building everything that I had in Asana and in various different formats, spreadsheets, etc. that the businesses were operating, and I've transitioned them into Airtable to improve the systems and processes, automations, efficiency, and most importantly, the data that it can produce that allows me to lead and run my businesses by numbers. It also controls and manages all the people that work within my businesses. So it's a really, really high priority for me to get this right. The downside to it is that you've probably got however many years in businesses that you've been running, however old those businesses are. You've got to unravel all the inefficiencies and rebuild them in your new setup, which is a incredibly time-consuming, complex, mind-numbing, challenging, to say the least. I'm 3 months into this project, and we've only really been using the new system as a team for the past week. I mean, the last few people are still yet to be transitioned across from Asana into Airtable. So that just goes to show what happened just to get us to almost ground zero, and let alone all the stuff we now have to build. So reason for this topic is regarding Runpreneur, my charity or my non-profit organisation that raises money for children's causes, off the back of me running on consecutive days, barefoot style, whilst vlogging, at least the distance of one lap around the world. I'll probably never end, to raise money for children's causes, requires a big marketing plan. Now, we had a marketing plan back in my Asana days, and it's just got obsolete. People have changed positions, people have moved on, and it's stagnated, and the publishing isn't as prolific as it should have been, to the extent that my social media now on Runpreneur, bizarrely hasn't dropped, but it's the publishing has dropped significantly, to the extent that I'm on day 1139 today, running. I should be publishing probably around about 14 days behind the real time, but they're publishing at the moment, I think I saw 912. So it's the best part of, it's over 200 days, which is 2/3 of a year. So it's kind of 8 to 9 months behind, which just is not going to cut it. So I've had to relaunch Runpreneur. So when you relaunch anything or revamp, set up a new system and process, where do you start? Well, for me, I'm fairly fortunate because I have a team in place who can actually build the systems minutiae, the automations, check all that side of things out. But they need to know what I want. So I always start with a process map. Okay, it's a really good visual way of mapping out what I believe needs to happen. I can do it at quite a high level and allow them, the team, to kind of build it out as they go. But what I do is I identify the stages, and each stage I have somebody responsible for it. Okay, so I have each stage of what's going to happen. I have a little headshot that I use as well on each stage showing who's responsible for it. And I also have an action attached to that, which is to create an SOP for that stage. Okay, an SOP being a standard operating procedure. So all of our standard operating procedures are video based, and we use AI as well to help create them. So each person, as they're building these kind of processes and systems out, they're creating the standard operating procedures so that somebody else can actually fulfill that role should they not be available. Really, really important. And the best time to do it is when you're building it. And then you can revamp and iterate them in the future, but get them done when you're building them. So I always have a task associated with getting the SOP created. And I build it out that way. So what I've then done is I've created a process map of from start to finish what needs to happen, where it happens, who's responsible for each stage, who's going to build that SOP, and who's going to report the data relating to that stage or to that task in their role. Okay, so our data is then captured and reported accordingly. I then hand that over to my systems and processes or Airtable product lead, software lead, who will then try and manufacture that into some kind of interface or process within Airtable with automation so that people get the right tasks at the right time. All the SOP tasks to create them will be generated at kind of high level and assigned to the relevant people when it's due, and it will kind of be implemented. Now, any feedback or anything will come back to me, and I'll have to make little changes and iterations as we go. But just that process of getting everything out of my head into a visual piece of paper, fairly high level, it normally takes longer than you think, even though some process maps are pretty simple. There's a lot of thought that has to go in them. So it probably can take me up to a day to do each one. But then I pass that over and it saves probably hundreds of hours of building and setting it up and all those types of things. It saves me that just for putting a day's work into each system and process within the business. And I generally only have to do that once, because once it's in place, the process map forms an SOP in its own right, so people can refer back to the process map to see how things happen. And then when feedback comes in that something needs to change, we have an improvement project where people can state improvements that they notice, and then we put them into a project, and then every quarter we identify which ones we're going to approve and amend, and it's a continual improvement journey then. But you have to get it to the first stage, which is having all the process maps in place. So I hope that's useful. I mean, the learnings from my diary for today are that if you're looking to systemize a business or systemize your life, start with a process map, a very simplistic process map. It enables you to get what's in your head out into some kind of visual representation. Now, obviously, some people are going to be better at creating process maps than others, but keep it simple. Just have each stage in place and have somebody who's responsible for each stage, have a KPI in mind that could be reported for that stage, and have a task that an SOP needs to be created. Don't create it any more complicated than that with all kind of nuances and automations and all things like that. They can be added to it at a later date. But when you're looking to systemize anything in your life, start with a high level, simple process map with those key aspects, and it will hopefully revolutionize your world. So anyway, hope that's useful. Questions or comments, drop me a line. I'll respond to everyone. Remember to give this a subscribe, share, like, and comment, as the more people we get in front of, the more money we raise on my fundraising mission to save the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultra marathon. All the information about the challenge and how you can get involved is in the link in the comments below. Thank you as always. Stay positive, stay happy. I'll see you again tomorrow.